This is Meri at the Meri Atelier, and I'm going to do something a little bit different and a little bit new on my channel. I'm experimenting. I'm seated at my desk in my studio, but YouTube has recently given creators the ability to do podcasts, and I can do a video podcast. And the way this is going to be different is that I'm doing an unlisted stream. I'm going to be doing some Tunisian crochet here. I'm making a holder for my phone. And let me adjust my camera a little. You can either sit here and watch me crochet, or if you're busy doing something else and you can listen in, you can do that too, because I'm just going to be chatting in the background. You'll be in the background. I'm going to be chatting. Let me set the quality over here on my video. It's at 720. The quality here isn't quite what I wanted it to be. Let's put I'll just put this white sheet down here, and you won't get that annoying grid as much. There. How is that? Is that better? Yeah, I think it is. So I'm going to be working on my crochet, but I'm also going to be talking about different topics. And I want to start a podcast channel. Now, I may talk about art-related things. I may talk about YouTube-related things. I may talk about things in my life, different topics. This is going to be a podcast, but while I'm talking, I'm going to be working on a project. It might be crochet, it might be tatting, it may be a tag, it may be a card, but I'm not going to be communicating to you. I'm going to be talking specifically as if I were doing a verbal podcast. So what I want to talk about to start off my introductory podcast is YouTube. And I want to talk about the you in YouTube. Now, I've said earlier in the year that for my channel, on my channel, I am declaring 2023 the year of you. The year of you out there who watch my videos. I refer to my community, and I don't refer to it in the sense that I own you people. Nobody can own a community. You become a part of a community as you all come together. And when I refer to my community, I refer to us coming together on my channel, in videos, in streams. We all have, who host channels, all have your own communities, and we kind of follow each other around to different channels. I'm very happy with our community, and I think I've been on YouTube for 10 years now. It'll be 10 years in June. I started my channel in 2013, in June of 2013. I've been streaming for almost 7 years. I started streaming in 2016. So I've been on YouTube for long enough to see a lot of changes on YouTube. And I kind of want to talk about the changes. I want to talk about two areas. The first would kind of be the changes that I've seen in YouTube, how YouTube has grown and evolved in a lot of different ways. And some of them have been very helpful, I have to say. But I can remember the time I blame everything on YouTube. So I don't feel that way as much now. I feel like I've become very comfortable with YouTube as a platform, but I've also seen this year, especially since our streamathon, it's become, you as a art community have become much more important to me this year than in previous years. The community has become more important to me. I've realized that when I first started YouTube, I came on to share my art, and that was my purpose, was to share my art. Now it's more to get to know people, to get to enjoy people, to get to enjoy the community, to learn. But getting back to how YouTube has changed, YouTube started in 2006. So when I joined in 2013, they were probably maybe what, 6 or 7 years old in their primary years, if you would compare them to human growth stages. So they were probably in their primary years. But even then, I've seen a change in the way we interact on YouTube. And that could be a part of YouTube's interaction itself, the way that they present things or algorithms and all of that I don't have any control over. But I think we as a culture, I've seen a certain sense of we've gotten used to YouTube. There's that loss of awe. There's that loss of wonder, like amazement that I can sit here at my desk and talk to somebody from my little home in central United States and communicate with somebody halfway around the world or around the world in a different time zone. It amazes. It still amazes me, but we've become very used to it. We've become very used to YouTube. And when something happens on YouTube, we almost say, oh, well, that's YouTube for you. You know, they're fiddling with stuff again. So I think we become very used to it, and I sense a loss of enthusiasm. I sense a loss of wonder, and I certainly hope that's not going on at YouTube itself. I have no idea what goes on there, but I do see the longer YouTube is a platform, I think we get used to that platform. And I'm chatting so much that I kind of lost my stitches here. Let me get these before I drop them. And I'm going to be talking very extemporaneously in these podcasts. This is just my opinion. These are things that I think I observe. It's what I think. It's not necessarily built on fact. Don't try to fact check me because I'm wrong a lot. And that's I don't mind being told I'm wrong, but just I'm talking extemporaneously. I don't sit here and script this whole thing out. In fact, and this is a part of you. Of being you, of being me. Sometimes when I try to script things out, I get to reading it like off of a teleprompter, and you can sure tell the difference. If you look at my introduction video, I left it up just to remind me how bad I was 13 years ago, 10 years ago in 2013. I read it off of a script, and I was very nervous. I think I'm much more confident, much more relaxed, maybe not confident, but more relaxed when I'm just sitting here talking to you. And I could be talking and I could say something completely, sometimes what my tongue doesn't say what my head is thinking. And sometimes my head is thinking things that my tongue won't repeat. Oh, dear me. Anyway, so let's just take this as Meri chat. And I see where this loop is way too big. Maybe I can catch it on the next round here. So I'm doing a Tunisian crochet project. I think did I tell you? This is going to be my own design of a phone holder. I've got my phone over here let me kind of flip this over, and it's about 10 stitches, half and half, like that. There's 20 stitches wide for Tunisian crochet. So I'm going to do my own design now. It's not just going to be a folded over piece. I'm going to do something very unique to this. Remember that word, unique. Unique, because that's what people enjoy. If you can come on with something unique. And YouTube was unique when it first started, wasn't it? Man, you could have your own channel, just like your own TV channel. And I especially liked it because I didn't have to get red lettered out by an editor. Although that still kind of happens informally at times. There are times I get edited. And I don't really mind that. You know, trying to crochet while I'm chatting here underneath of the camera is sure a lot different than crocheting. I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with how big this loop is. And this is something I'll say just right off the hand. If you're not happy with something, don't just leave it. Take it out. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take out these stitches and fix this big loop here. So that's one area that I've seen about YouTube. And it's just a change. I won't say whether it's good or bad, but I've seen, I think I've seen a sense of a loss of wonder through the communities. I think we've lost that awe, that amazement. I don't know if we can get that back or not. It sure would be nice if we could. And maybe just by trying new things, we can, in a sense. Now I have to have 20 stitches here. Well, let's see what I can do here. But then the other area that I want to talk about is being you and allowing others to be their own you. Don't try to change somebody into a you that you personally want them to be. Even if you see their mistakes, even if you know absolutely you're right and they're wrong, if they're not accepting your suggestion or your comment, don't try to force it on them. They are their very own you. And that's what I liked about YouTube. You can be your own self. You don't have to get red lettered out by an editor. Don't try to edit people to be a version of you, of a you that you want them to be. Sure, you can give advice. You can make suggestions. And if that person is in a receiving mode at the time, if they take your advice and your suggestion, all the better. You've convinced them. But if they don't take your advice or suggestion, if they have their own thoughts on it, let them be them. Let them be the person that they are. Accept them for who they are, unless it's, illegal or immoral. Well, immoral, that's up for discussion too. But if it's illegal, that's a whole different story. But I've seen too many people leave communities in a huff or try to change people into a version of a person that they're not. And if that person is not responsive, then they no longer are part of the community. They don't feel accepted. They don't feel like their advice was accepted. And in a sense, it wasn't. It just wasn't at that time. You did your best to make a suggestion or a criticism or a helpful hint to somebody. And if they weren't ready to take it yet, don't get offended. Don't get offended. Let them, you have a right to your opinion, but other people have a right to their opinion too. And making videos and doing live streams, I have found out that some of the people who make the most criticism do the least. A lot of them who criticize you or helpful hint you don't have their own channels. And if they had to deal with all the technical issues and all the people and all the circumstances that somebody that's doing their best that they can at the time, and they might understand a little bit better why somebody is not ready to just accept somebody else who comes across. So, and I'm not referring to any one specific instance, because I don't think that's fair. I try to grow and change beyond that. Look, see, I went back and changed it, and it's much neater now. So if you're making a project and if you can catch something that you don't like and remove it, go do it. Don't say, oh, that's horrible, or I can live with it, when in your heart you can't. Go rip it out, take it out. Let's see if I got 20 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. I do. So those were the points that I wanted to talk about. The you in YouTube, the you in you. And, our friend Tim Holtz has taken to saying, you be you. And what a great saying, you be you. And I want to add to that, you be unique. Don't try to copy some. Be your own unique person. A lot of us are still finding out who we are, but be your own unique person. Now, I hope to continue these podcasts. I hope to do one a week, and I hope, let me know what you think about them, whether you agree or disagree, or whether you enjoy this type of format, seeing me work on a project while I'm talking. I've got a whole list of things that I want to talk about, and I'm just going to be chattering while I'm working on a project. I've got this is my foundation row. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 5 rows here. I think it will take, at least 10, maybe 12, and maybe 13 rows, maybe 12 rows. 12 would probably take it right up to the very top, but I like to have an extra row. So I'm only going to work on this while I'm doing my podcast. So this will be where I'll start next week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week, but I have a list. I want to thank you for listening in, and I want to end it by saying, go out, enjoy your unique life. You only get one.